Welcome back to Slothbox. This video is brought to you by the Excelsior Sporting Club. I'm Lyndon Dixon, joined by Lauren Parker. Lauren, how you getting on, mate?
Yeah, very well. I just said before this record went on that I'm very happy with the meeting name.
What is the meeting name?
Lauren the Legend.
Yeah.
I think that's good.
And like you said, I knew that would perk you up. But anyway, it's been six
Yes.
months since we spoke, by the way. I was looking at what we spoke about in our last video, and it said
Wow.
6 months ago, and that blew my mind. But anyway, last time we did spoke, it was just after you got that IBO Intercontinental title. 6 months on, how does it feel?
It still feels great, first major title. Anybody would be happy to obviously have it. I'm super happy and I'm proud of it. Yeah, I'm looking forward to just getting on and sort of improving it really. But unfortunately, I've had a few little niggles and injuries and stuff that I've had to deal with, like straight after my fight. And it kind of meant that I had to take my foot off the gas, which was a bit of a shame because, you get the win and it's like, oh my God, I'm now a champion. And, everyone wants to see it. And then there's also that I want to get back in the gym because, once you've become a champion, you've got a new bee in your bonnet. It's like, you feel different, a whole new lease of confidence, that sort of thing. And unfortunately, I haven't really been able to get in the gym and put it into practice really and get that feeling of being a champion. But it's all looking good. Things are coming together. I'm starting to rebuild again. And yeah, we're hoping to fight sort of the back end of the year because I still need to allow myself time to get back to where I was. But yeah, other than that, it's great, and my belt sits proudly on the side at home and I look at it every day and, it's a big thing for me, but as a professional, I want to push on for bigger and better things. So yeah, hopefully big things to come.
Before we get into those injuries, I just want to talk a little bit more about the win. It's a career best win so far in your career anyway, but how would you say it's impacted your life? Because like you said, straight after you've got that confidence, it's a new lease of life, but away from boxing almost, how would you say it's impacted your life?
I don't know if it would say it's impacted my life a lot, but what I would say in terms of if anybody talks to me about boxing or if I happen to say, oh, I'm a boxer, it's nice to be able to say I'm the Intercontinental IBO champion. Whereas before I couldn't say that. And a lot of people that you talk to, unless they're into boxing, they can look at you and go, and I've had it before, oh, do you do a bit of white collar? And obviously someone like myself at this sort of level, I do take it. They can't help it, but it's a little bit insulting. I'm like, whoa, no, I really do this at a good level, So I think in terms of being able to tell people the status of where I'm at in my pro career, it's changed on that front. In terms of changing my life, it hasn't really. I think I stay pretty grounded and I wouldn't really let myself change too much as a person because I am who I am. But I think it's probably given me a little bit more recognition, maybe, like if we go to shows and stuff like that, I think people are like, oh, tuned into your fight, or well done, champ, or this, that, and the other. I think people sort of recognise more for who I am and what I've achieved, which is really nice. Whereas I couldn't really go off of the back of anything too much previous to that. So yeah, that's the only changes I would say, but nothing major. I think until we're sort of getting a collection of belts or whatever, then people really start knowing who you are and stuff. But yeah, it's nice. Like I say, it's nice to have that status.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about those injuries a little bit. You haven't fought since that fight because of injuries. Tell me a bit more about the injuries. Like, what's been the problem? What's affected you?
Yeah. So if I'm totally honest, I'm probably not going to go into it too much, but
fair enough.
It's my back. I've got back issues, and I've had back issues since I was a young girl, really. I was in the gym when I was pretty young. I've always been an active kid since very, very young, but in terms of actually going to the gym, 14, and they say normally you can't really train in gyms until you're like 16 or whatever. So, I started doing stuff and lifting weights and that, and then obviously the boxing career started. And if I'm totally honest, from a very young age, I don't stop. Like when I have fight camps, I'll then box, and then afterwards I might have, say, like a week off, and then we're literally straight back to it. and I do a lot of heavy training with my coach, as do other boxers. I'm not saying I'm any different to anybody else, but it's extreme, you know, and I know what my body's capable of, and we're always pushing it to limits. And I think I've never had like proper downtime from the sport. And even when I go on holiday and things like that, I'm out running up the bloody mountains, you know, I'll find a local gym, I'm doing stuff. And I just, yeah, I think sometimes, and as well, one thing I'd say is as of recent, changing, you know, and being more like full time with Paul Webber, my coach, is he is very much into his strength and conditioning, and it has done wonders for me. But where we're doing a lot of sort of weighted work and power explosive work with heavy weight for my size, it's a big demand on the body. And I think along the way, sometimes it's just a little bit of wear and tear. But that's what you've got to do as a professional athlete. You have to push your body. And you know what? There's lots of athletes out there that have had many injuries. And I've got to say, I'm very lucky. This is the first sort of injury that's held me back. And I can't really grumble all these years down the line. So, yeah, you know, it's not going to stop me from doing what I do. But there might be certain things, because I've got a weakness in my back and I've had it since very young, I might have to adapt a little bit more. But other than that, it's not really holding me back. And I'm, like I said, I'm starting all my rehab stuff now. I'm getting back to light punching and stuff because the doctor and the physio were like, you need to stop. You need to stop because this isn't good, and you need to just let your back calm down, because it was like disc issues. So I literally took time out. So I literally took about, I don't know exactly how long. I was still doing training, but it was like nowhere near what I do, to the point it was so frustrating. Because I'm kind of, that's one thing I've learned about myself, is I'm an all or nothing person. So if I can't go out 100%, part of me is like, I don't really want to do it at all. So yeah, I've had to really calm things down, but we're back on building now. I'm back light punching, doing stuff. The movement's good, the back's feeling great. And I just think it's a matter of wear and tear, and sometimes you need a bit of downtime.
Before we talk about what's next, you mentioned that it's been frustrating, but a big thing is, like you say, it's the first bit of downtime, the first big injury you've had. So that also means the first bit of time, like you say, where you've had to stop. I'm just wondering, like, mentally, like, that must have been a challenge for you, because like you say, you're all or nothing, you're 100% or nothing. So surely it must have been real frustrating and like tough for you to take that you've had to stop.
Yeah, insane. I've never had to go through anything like that. You know, my good pal, Ebony Bridges, for example, let's take her. Poor girl's riddled with injuries, you know, constant hand injuries, you know, she's broken legs, you know, slipped discs in her back, all sorts, you know, and she's had to go through that, whereas I've never had to go through that. And I don't know, it's been really tough, like, I'm not gonna lie. Like I say, having to take my foot off the gas and not do anything, and especially after winning the title as well, you know, you want to get back on it, and it's almost like you literally reach a peak, like, oh my god, that euphoric feeling, this is the first step of what I've been working so hard for so long, to then bang, you can't train. It's like, wow, that's tough. And I'm not gonna lie, yeah, I've been real down in the dumps. And yeah, just having to go through that, because it kind of makes you feel as well, it's all the unknown with injuries. Am I gonna recover from it? Is it gonna hold me back in the future? Don't know. And it's all those mental things that you have to go through. But I'm really lucky, like, I've got good people around me. I spoke to Ebony and the things she's gone through, and I just think, look at her, she's come back. You know, she's a world champion, as well as other people. Even say like Terry Harper, she broke her hand, come back, those sort of things. Loads, you know what I mean. But yeah, it's been tough, but I'm actually in quite a good positive place now, and I'm liking seeing the improvements session by session. So I've just got to stay positive and just keep working forward.
Well, like I say, talking of moving forward, mate, just talking a little bit about what's next. I feel like your career, when you come back, is definitely gonna like take off. But just for the other people around you, like in terms of weight, like your prospects, like your Maisie Rose Courtney, Shannon Ryan, I know they're at the start of their career, but could you see maybe in a couple of years' time those big fights down the line?
Yeah, for sure. both great fighters, and you know, as well, what's really good is we've just seen the first British female title as well, Lauren Price, Kirsty Davington, and I just think that could bring for an opportunity down the line. I'm one of the people that would say I'll fight anyone. I really don't care, and I think, you know, it's about giving yourself or getting those opportunities and going for them, and that's what's going to make you the better fighter. So yeah, I think if those opportunities came up down the line, then absolutely I'd take them. And going, obviously, like with Shannon Ryan, I sparred a fair bit. And to be honest, our styles work really well, and I think it would make for a great fight. But I think as well, when you look at boxing and everybody's directed in the correct ways, so depending on when my management thinks that those sort of fights are correct, then fine. But again, like you say, they're at the beginning of the career, and you know, as soon as I get my foot on the gas and start moving, I do want to be moving on for bigger and better things. So maybe they need to, when they challenge for some belts and that, then maybe that'll make for a really, really good fight down the line. But I think obviously, like right now, that's not the case. But I believe that probably at some point we may clash. And if we do, then so be it, and let's put on a good show.
Well, let's talk about right now. You've been dealing with this injury, and you said you want to come back towards the end of the year. But what is next? Like, what have you and the management been speaking about? What's next for Lauren Parker?
So I think the most important thing is to get that, say, warm-up fight, if you like, because unfortunately, since October, I've not sparred. So I haven't done any sparring, nothing like that. My fitness has probably dropped a fair bit as well, so something I'm going to have to rebuild on, which will absolutely rebuild. I have no doubts whatsoever. But I'm going to need to shake off that ring rust, if you like. And then after that, I don't know, maybe a Commonwealth title, European title. I'm not too sure if I'd have to defend what I've already got. I'm not too sure. If that's the case, then we do. Or we might go on for, say, like, I don't know, the IBO International. Then once you've got that, it's almost like collecting them. And I think, I could be wrong, but the IBO world title, I think, is vacant. So that could be a good route down for me. Collect all of those belts, and then once I've got those, then you become more appealing to the other ones who hold the belts, you know, and more of a worthy opponent, if you like. So yeah, I'm not too sure. It's a conversation that, again, me and my management will have to sit down and have. Unfortunately, because I've been a little bit stagnant with things, we've not really spoke a lot, but these are conversations that I'm yet to have. But I do believe the future's bright, and if the opportunities come my way, then I want to be grabbing them.
Well, perfect. Moving on from yourself a little bit, a massive fight in women's boxing that's coming up soon. I'm sure you've been asked about it a lot. Katie Taylor, Chantelle Cameron, massive fight, but how do you see it going?
So this is a tough one, isn't it? Because obviously you've got Katie Taylor. Everyone loves Katie Taylor. What she's achieved for women in boxing, she's just amazing. And but obviously she's going up a weight, so she's fighting Chantelle, super lightweight, I believe. So it's whether Katie can stand with Chantelle, because I do believe that if anyone's going to beat Katie, it's going to be Chantelle. She's very strong. She's very, very skilled. She's a good fighter, if you like. But I've always had my heart set on the fact that I think Katie Taylor will get it. I think because of the occasion, it's such a big thing. You know, she's definitely not going to want to disappoint. I do believe that maybe her ring IQ, her speed is that a little bit better than Cameron's. So we'll see, but it's a tough one because I genuinely do believe that it could go either way. And I think that's what makes this fight so exciting, is that we really don't know. And anyone could be right or wrong. So yeah, it's a great fight, but I think my heart and gut is saying Katie. But then again, it does switch sometimes, so I'm not too sure. But do you know what? Let the best woman win, and whoever does win is fully deserving of it, because, like we say, it's a 50-50 fight, a tough fight going to be. So yeah, I'm going Katie.
Yeah, a big factor for me, I think, in this fight, it's Katie's homecoming, and for Chantelle going over to Ireland, she's going to have probably the whole crowd in attendance against her. Do you think that could affect Cameron's performance a little bit?
Do you know what? I do know Chantelle Cameron, not very well, but and just from what I've seen, I don't really think things will phase her that much in terms of the crowd and stuff. But maybe on this occasion it may. Everything is kind of against her on this one. The homecoming in Ireland, I don't think they've done boxing on this sort of scale for however many years. So the crowd and the supporters are going to be out in full force. I don't know. The nerves might get the better of her, but is she that type of person that will feed off of that? And it's like, yeah, all you lot are against me, but I'm going to show you. And I kind of feel like that could be the case. And I think if that is the case, then it's going to massively go in her favour, and she could grab the win on this. But I think all the factors put together, it all sways towards the benefits of Katie. But yeah, I don't think Chantelle will fold too much. I think she'll cope pretty well under pressure, and she'll just take it in her stride. And fair play to her. She's going to have to, because it's going to be tough. She can't give in to that, because you just can't, can you? You just got to go with it and give it your best.
Well, last question from me, but it's been a pleasure speaking to you. But I feel like by the sounds of it, it's going to be a big end to the year for yourself, getting ready for next year almost after the injuries. But where do you see yourself come the end of the year? It's Christmas. Where do you want to be?
With another belt. I think maybe Commonwealth. I think that could be the shout, unless they may go for like the IBO International or something. But I do believe that I will have another belt by Christmas. If not, it will be early in the new year. That's what I think. And then I think world champion end of next year, providing all's good and Lauren's fit and well and smashing it as always. Then I believe good things will be happening, and especially towards the end of next year.
Yeah, well, Lauren Parker, world champion, that's got a nice ring to it.
Oh God, you know what? I'm just looking at the gym. I'm looking at the space on the wall.
Yeah,
I've got my IBO stuff there, so then I could have over here like the Commonwealth or whatever, and then maybe underneath like a big banner of world champion with the belt. Oh,
mate, that'll be perfect. But anyway, it's been a pleasure speaking to you. I've been Linda Dixon. She's been Lauren Parker, and we'll see you on the next one.
Cheers, mate. Thank you.
Cheers.